morning and welcome to Learn and Play with Dr. Susan, or Play and Learn, whichever way you want to look at it. And I'm happy that you're here today. We are going to take a look at a book, and it's got an interesting title, and it's all about dads. And I thought it would be fun to take a look at, what do dads think? And this particular dad, his thought is, and I'm going to read the title, The Dad Who Didn't Know. So we sit and wonder, what dad didn't know? We always thought dads knew everything, right? You know, where you go to get football and that kind of equipment, and where do you go to get your car fixed, and all kinds of things. We thought, gee, doesn't dad know all that? Well, let's see what this is really about. So we're going to look at the story, and then we're going to see how we can help solve his dilemma. All right? So let's do that. Okay, so let's start the story. The Dad That Didn't Know. This is by Andrew Newman, and it's illustrated by Adam Carnegie. So, Dad looks a little puzzled, doesn't he? And this is from the Andrew Newman, the Conscious Bedtime Story Club. And these are great stories. So let's take a look. There once was a dad who didn't know. The question is, what didn't he know? He had 2 delightful children and a beautiful wife whom he dearly loved. Each morning he went to work, wearing a smart suit, driving a smart car, and he worked hard all day and looked forward to coming home to his loving family. This dad lived in 2 worlds, his outside world and his inside world. Both were very busy. On the outside, he was busy with work, house repairs, and computery things. And on the inside, he dreamt of sunny days and fun with his family. On the inside, he also worried a lot. He worried about money. He worried about getting old. He worried about his family. And he worried that his family didn't know he loved them. His son asked him to play catch, but he felt too tired. His daughter wanted to bounce on his knee, but he had a sore back. His wife wanted to plan a family holiday, but he was worried about money. This dad wanted to do these wonderful things, but something always got in the way. He didn't know how to find his smile when he was sad. He didn't know how to ask for help when he was tired. He didn't know how to make his dreams come true. He looks pretty sad, doesn't he? I'm the dad. I'm supposed to know, he thought. He didn't know, so he wiggled and squirmed to get away from the yucky feeling in his belly. Oh my, that is a yucky feeling. Gee whiz, he has roller skates on his feet, and he has more feet than he needs. And hands, that does look pretty wormy and squirmy, doesn't it? Over time, his inside world became very lonely. He forgot about joy of sunny days. He forgot about happy dreams. He even forgot about fun with his family. Luckily, the story doesn't end here. Looks like he's stuck in a tube, doesn't it? Oh, there's his eye. I think maybe he wants to get out of that feeling, don't you? His daughter knew where to find her smile when she was sad. She would dance and sing. His wife knew where to find hers to find help when she was tired. She would pray and read. His son knew how to make his dreams come true. He patiently watched nature do it every day. Their dancing, prayers, and patience surrounded their dad with love. Like magic, a little light sparked deep inside. Oh, look at all those bricks flying away that he felt captured in. For one moment, he stopped wiggling and squirming. He took a deep breath and sighed. He sat down. Whew. He looked around smiling. I feel relaxed and happy on the inside and the outside. I didn't even know how that happened. But I'm a dad and I should know, he thought, almost wiggling and squirming again. Just then, his daughter danced past, his son picked a flower, and his wife turned a page. Ah, he smiled. They know how to be happy. I will learn from them. I am the dad, and I don't need to know everything. The end. Oh, look at our cool monsters that we have on our page today. How fun is that? Maybe we'll talk about monsters too. We could. So, we have discovered that there is several things that this dad was worried about. Of course, he worried about the house, and he worried about money, and he worried about making his family happy. He worried about all kinds of things. And he didn't know if they knew he loved them. So that's going to be what we're going to look at and focus on. Is there's lots of times and lots of people in our lives that we know very well and we love a lot. But sometimes they don't know that. They don't know that we care about them and love them and think about them, especially if they're not really right there in front of you or in the same house. Sometimes those feelings are like your grandparents that may live far away, or your friends that live far away, or even those that live close right now that we can't see. But there's lots of people that may have that feeling, and the person that you're thinking about with you, being you, is that you thought about, I love them, but do they know I love them? Interesting. Well, in the story, you saw the mom and the dad and the son, or the mom and the son and the daughter, all circled their dad with love and patience and joy and fun. But he didn't feel it. He didn't know. He didn't feel it because he didn't know that they knew he loved them. That was the question. How does he do that? And sometimes I think that maybe that feeling kind of comes around because they may not recognize that he doesn't know that they love him. Because parents do a lot of stuff for us. A lot of things we don't see and we don't hear about, but they do a lot of stuff. And we're busy learning things and growing and discovering who we are in our lives and what we want to do and all the exciting things we do as a kid. And sometimes, do we think about how much our parents love us? Sometimes we do, I guess. And sometimes we don't. We just don't think about it because it just is. So, one of the things that I thought about is how many different ways can we tell someone without using words, verbal words, that we do love them and we do care about them and we do think about them? How do we do that? I'm sure you guys all have a mile of ideas of how that happens. Many of the ways is to actually say it to their face. But this dad looked like he was a pretty busy dad. And maybe they didn't have a lot of time to do that together. And maybe mom feels the way too because she's busy and cooking and taking care of our clothes and getting us to where we need to go and all those other things. And we have the things that we love doing, whether it's playing with your friends or playing with dolls or toys or different kinds of toys and things like that. We get busy doing that stuff too. We don't think about, gosh, what does mom need? What does dad need? What do they need in order to know that we love them and we appreciate all they do for us? And we don't always put that into words, and that's pretty normal. But the cool part about this is when we become aware of that, and sometimes if we feel like nobody's paying attention to us and we're not getting what we want from other people, maybe it's because we're not giving it back. We're not giving it first. And sometimes that's the best thing to do, is you give it first. And then it comes back in tons and tons and waves and waves. So we're going to figure out how we can create ideas that you might be able to give to your dad in case he feels like this dad. Like he doesn't know that you know that he loves you. He doesn't know that. Maybe he's not sure. And maybe he's not sure at times that same feeling comes back to him. So we're going to figure out a way in order to create things that will be little hints. Have you ever had hints about something, like maybe Christmas is coming and you're hinting about some present that you want or some new thing that you want? Or they ask you, excuse me, what do you want for your birthday? You know, or something like that. Oh, sorry. Goodness. But, you know, you think that. So what do you do? How do you go about fixing that kind of a thing, right? What do we do? Well, I had the idea, and we use them at our center, and we use what we call an card. It's a little card like this, looks like that, blank both sides, and it's little. And what we do is we put a little picture on it, and then we write a statement that says something special. And on Sundays, people pick them out of a basket, and that's their special thought for the day. So what I thought might be kind of fun, but it's a secret. You can't tell Dad about this, okay? You can tell your mom you're doing it, but don't tell your dad. So the secret is that you take a little card like this. If you don't have the card, that's okay. You can use a piece of paper. Piece of paper works fine, too. Doesn't have to be this size either. But you take the piece of paper, and you write something on it. So we're going to fill out some of these cards, and I'll show you how to do it. But I want to show you something else first. But this is one of the things. And then what you do with this card is that maybe you put it in if he wears a jacket or a suit jacket that he wears to work, put one of these cards in the pocket, in his pockets. If he doesn't wear a suit or it's too warm to wear a jacket, and if he takes his lunch, maybe you can put a lunchbox. Maybe have Mom put it in his lunchbox, but don't tell him. Or the other thing that you can do is you can just ask Mom if she'll put it in his pants pocket, that, you know, the pants he's going to wear that day when he gets dressed. So maybe she can stick it in his pants pocket for you. The other idea that you might have is you can talk to Mom. This would be something you share with Mom. Say, Mom, would you put this little note in Dad's wallet for me? I just wanted to surprise him with some happy thoughts, all right? So that's the other way that you can do this. But again, it's a surprise. And if Dad doesn't say anything about it, it's okay. Don't ask. Just let him find it when it's time for him to find it, okay? He may not have put his hands in his pocket or stuck his hand in his pocket in his jacket that he's wearing, or the side pocket. He may not have done that, okay? The other thing that you might be able to do with Mom's help, of course, is that you might want to take the note that you create. You might want to go ahead and take that and ask Mom if you can put it on the dashboard in Dad's car, or maybe on his seat. Before he sits down, he'll see it. That would be a nice surprise, too. So think of these clever places that you can put these little, and we call them love notes, all over. Even if he has his garage and it's a workshop for him, put it in his workshop. Or put it on his pillow, on his bed before he goes to bed at night, or before you go to bed. Go stick it on his pillow. And then, after, say maybe you do that for maybe a couple, 3 weeks, and then you surprise Mom and do the same thing to Mom. Stick it in places that she sees or goes to every day. But drop her a little love note, too. And what that does is that tells them that you love and appreciate all the things that they do for you. You can write a big note, you can draw a cute picture and sign your name on it. It doesn't have to be words if you have a hard time writing words and letters. Draw a picture and stick that any place so that they can find it. But it's one way that we could say and show our folks and parents how much we appreciate who they are and what they do for us. So one of the other things, we made some of these a little while ago, I think about a month ago. But we shaved crayon shavings. We see them here, they're in my jar. And we made little cards. So another thing that you can do that's more creative and a little bit more time, but you may have more fun with it, is you can create a card. You can create these cards. And this is a nice way to send your grandmas or your aunts and uncles or even your cousins, if you haven't seen them in a long time, and you want to send them a note to tell them you think about them and love them, you can make a card. And I'm just going to use the crayon shavings that we did a couple of weeks ago because they were fun to do, and they're a fun thing to use. So I'm going to show you how you can make a window card. And you can do the same thing with that you did with the, with the little love notes. Little love notes are a lot easier, but they're still fun. So we're just going to go ahead and create the front part of the card, and then I'll show you how we're going to make the stained glass part. All right, so we're going to take this card, and I'll fold this up. Get this out of the way for just a minute. I think you can still see, I hope. Okay, so I'm going to do a heart on this one. So this card's going to open up like this, okay? So I'm going to, this side right here, I'm going to lay my stencil, and I'm going to lay it right here, kind of right in the middle on that one side. Just trace the heart with my pencil, just like that. Okay, going to do that. And then I just fold it a little bit. I don't crease, try not to crease the paper, but make a snip. And then go around. Whoops, it's wiggling away from me. There we go. And go around. And if you guys can think of more fun things that you can do or that you can create to surprise your mom, your dad, to let them know that you love them, you appreciate them, and you're happy that you have this lovely and loving family. And then you'll be absolutely amazed how much of all that you feel and think come back to you. So we're going to trim this down just a little bit. Okay, so now we have the cutout heart. You can see, I'll lay it down there so you can see the brown table through it. So we have a cutout heart, just like that. All right, and then I'm going to take a piece of wax paper and put it under here. And then I'm going to fold it right while it's inside the card. That way I know what size I'm doing. Okay, just like that. Now I have a crease line. And I'm going to cut up just like that. Okay. Then, now I need the towel in there, and you have to have Mom help you with this. This would be something Mom can help you with. If you're going to have Dad help you with, don't tell him what you're doing or why. Okay? Then we're going to take a little bit of the, this is the crayon shavings. If you looked at some of the videos before, you'll see how we do that. We just shave the crayons, and then you put it on wax paper, which is what I have right here. Put it on wax paper. You fold it in half, and then you use an iron, and you have it on the highest heat, and you don't have any steam, in case Mom has a steam iron, but you have to have Mom help you with this part, okay? So you can see up on the camera what we're doing, and then we just push it across, and it just melts the candle wax, or the candle. It's not a candle, sorry. It melts the crayons, the crayon shavings, okay? And it dries in pretty quick. It doesn't take very long to dry, but it seals the edges too. Okay, so we've done that part. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go over to other part. We have a two-set stage here. We're going to let that dry a minute. Then we're going to take the cards that we had, and I have, you can use your markers or you can use crayons or whatever you'd like. But let's say, think of something you'd like to say to your dad. Maybe like, thank you for your hard work. Let's do that one. So just say, thank you for your hard work. And then you may want to put a little heart beside it. And you may want to sign your name if you want to. I'm just going to put Susan down here. Okay? And I did that in pencil. And then you can go over it with your markers, your crayons, or your colored pencils, whatever you like. You can do any of those things with that. Okay, so I'm just going to do it in blue. And go over top of it. And if you want to go over top of it with 2 or 3 colors, that's kind of cool. It makes it look kind of like a fun design. And maybe this is the one that you put in his car before he goes to work. Because you're talking about all the work that he does for you. Or for the whole family, not just for you. Okay? So this is what we call our love note. And you can decorate it however you'd like. You don't even have to sign your name. You could just leave it as a surprise. Let him figure it out. Okay? So you make your little love note just like that. Think you can see that, right? Yeah. So there's says thank you for your hard work, and I put my name down there. And I put a little heart on it. So if you want to just make a whole bunch of them up and say different things on each one of the cards that you're doing, you can do that. And those would be the ones that would be fun to put in the car and surprise him. Okay, now that this is dried, we're going to take it and lay it in here. And now you can see, let's see if I hold it up like this. I think then you can see, I don't know if you can or can't, but you can see when the light shines through it, it looks like stained glass. So what I'm going to do is trim this down a little bit. I can see where the heart is, right there. And then I'll probably take my ruler and just make it a little bit bigger than the cutout that I have on that side. And then on this side. Okay? Same way on this one. This part's pretty easy to figure out. You just want to make sure that it's going to fit in your card. And then take your scissors and cut it here. Now the cool part about this is because the crayons have sealed on the inside, they're not going to come open. They're sealed in the wax paper. So we've done that right there. Okay? And then I have double stick tape because that's what I like using. Then we're going to take the double stick tape, put it on one side here, there, on that side. So it sticks to the picture, and it's going to stick to the card all at the same time. And we do another one over here. Whoop. Okay. And then we turn it over, and we stick it inside the card, just like that. Press it down. And press it down there. So you can see, I think you can see that, I'm not sure. But you can see, and if you hold it up to the light, it's very pretty. Okay? I kind of want to figure so that you can see it. But anyway, now you have this pretty card, and you can write whatever you want to write on the outside, and then write a little note on the inside. And then you can also stick that in maybe on the pillow, or maybe in his dresser or something like that, or in the bathroom on the counter. When he wakes up in the morning, he can see your little note and to tell you how much you appreciate all the things that he does for you and how important that is. And the one thing about the dad in the story was that he recognized that he didn't have to know everything, that he had the opportunity to learn from his kids. He learned from his daughter and his son and his wife that these are the things that made them happy when they were sad. So he had to discover things that made him happy when he was feeling sad. And I'm sure he probably did. I don't know what those were, but we can use our imagination and our creativity to figure out what he might have discovered about himself that he could do to show his family that he loved them. Maybe by you creating these cards and these little love notes, you might find a love note somewhere or a card made just for you. You may find that too. And that's the way in which we become aware of things, we take action on them, and then we see how much different our life is. So we can create our own happiness simply by being who we are and sharing the love that we have. And the dad did that by working, taking care of the house, and doing all those other things. And what did he call them? He called them computery things. So whatever that is. So those are the things that he did for his family. But he wasn't sure that they knew he loved him, or that he loved them. So this is a way you can let your dad or your mom, or even your sisters or brothers, if you have that many, if you have sisters and brothers, that you can let them know too, that you can write them a love note in a card form, or you can write them a love note on the card, the little card, and just stick it any place that they go and surprise them. And that always brings lots of big smiles. And that's one of the things that we want to do not only for ourselves, but our families and make a difference in our family, and we make a difference in our community that way too. Maybe you have a neighbor that maybe hasn't been feeling well or something, that you could make a card just like this or similar to this and stick it in their mailbox. That might be really nice. They might appreciate that, to know that someone in the neighborhood is thinking about them. All right? So there's lots of ideas that you can use to share and to let people know that you love them and care for them, as by taking action on something very small and very simple to bring beautiful and big smiles. So you guys have a great week. Have fun creating the cards if that's something you want to do. And if you think of other ways to create different kinds of cards, please do that. And spread some joy and some love around. All right? Thanks very much for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Take care. Bye.